And not quite yet, but in a few moments, I'm going to need some help from our younger members. But we may be a little confused. If you have been coming to church for the past 3 weeks and are coming next week, you might be wondering why I'm reading the same gospel again and again. This is the season of bread, and we get the bread of life 5 Sundays in a row. We have one more Sunday left of bread. So even if those of us who have traveled, myself included, you come back, you hear at least one Sunday worth of bread. So I think the gospel, or the people who selected the lectionary, wanted to make sure we heard about the bread of heaven, the living bread. John, knowing the ending, pointing towards that Eucharistic feast, the Last Supper, where Jesus says, "This is my body given for you. Take and eat this in remembrance of me." And we memorialize and in a very real sense participate in that Eucharistic feast every single Sunday. Partaking of Jesus, of the living bread that lets us hunger and thirst no more, and we become the living bread for the world. That being said, there's only so many different ways you can preach bread. So I decided we're going to go to the basics. I wanted to look at bread. Dave, you have a moment to lend me your hands? I want to move this table to the middle here. And younger members, if you want to come forward, you're welcome to come forward at this time and help me out. We're going to go right to the middle where folks can see what's going on. I consulted a bread expert. Mrs. Bustian, who normally sits right over here. We know Mary Fran, who has blue ribbons for a number of things and has entered her bread recipes into the state fair, is one of the many experts. Do we have any other bread folks in the room who know how to bake bread? Jules here. Perfect. You're my go-to now. I have a lot of questions. All right, so we're going to look at what's on the table. We're going to show everybody. We have the bread, making it in 3 different stages this morning. Come on forward, David. All right. We have the ingredients. We have something here in the middle, and I think I know what that is down there. So this side we have ingredients. What do we have here? Who can tell me what this is? All-purpose flour, the essential ingredient, building block for bread. You can't have bread without this. What do we have in here? Yeast. Some good yeast. So sourdough, you may or may not have yeast inside of the sourdough bread. Depending, I've been told it's considered cheating, but a lot of folks might use sourdough. I am not that savvy with this, so please correct me, Jewel, if I'm wrong at any point here. We've got, David, what does that say at the top there? Starter. So sourdough starter, like flour and water or other fun spirit-filled drinks that you might include within the starter, or the yeast. If you want to add some of the yeast in here, some starter for some sourdough bread. I don't know. What's it look like in there, Emmy? Madeline, what do you think? What's in there? Seeds, some nuts. What do you think, Drew, Libby? Look like bird seeds. Yeah. Some oats. See? Do you guys see? A whole bunch of stuff that makes the bread interesting.
They look like parts from like a sharpened pencil.
Parts from a sharpened pencil. Not in Miss Bustian's bread. Never.
They look like oatmeal.
Yeah, like oatmeal. Some oats are in here for sure. See this? All the ingredients in here. So somehow all these individual ingredients get made, and what comes in here? I can't tell who's right in front of me.
Is that all those things?
What is in there?
That looks like all of those.
What's that?
It's all of the things
That looks like all the things together.
All the things together. So what did it make? What do we? Oh, this isn't bread yet.
It's
Dough. It's bread. We have the bread dough in this one, and this it takes the shape of the container, so it'll come in a nice, pretty loaf when it's done. Jewel, how am I doing? Doing good. All right. And then, what temperature do you have to put it in the oven for? About 400, 350. I just put everything in at 350. It seems to come out. All right. And I'm going to leave it in here because we might actually partake of this during the fellowship hour afterwards. So what do we have here, folks? Bread. We have the bread. From all those ingredients to the dough, and we let the dough sit, and it rises over a period of time. And then it turns into this bread. Then it turns into that bread. You all, what happens when you come forward and you receive those the circles? What are the little circles? Bread. I know it doesn't always taste like bread, but it's bread. It is bread. And it's blessed bread. We believe that Jesus is remembered and very much in that bread. And that so you eat and it becomes part of you. Jesus is part of you as you come forward. And Jesus is already part of you. So we're going to look at the ingredients from two different angles. We're going to start with the individual. Each of you, is anybody here, not even twins, but even if you are twins, are any of you identical in any way? Or are you pretty individual and unique? There is not, oh, you guys are dressing. That's awesome. But you're still an Emmy and a Maddie, two very different people. Each of you and each of us brings our own unique characteristics as we come in to the church together. We need everyone. We can't celebrate Eucharist communion alone. We are required to assemble as a congregation in order to celebrate Eucharist. Again, not something I can't do that alone and make more communion. We all come together. And the starter, or the yeast, kind of like the spirit that helps it grow. And we can kind of figure that we kind of like this dough here in the middle, being formed and rising and becoming the bread that can go into the world and feed those who are hungry, to feed those who are spiritually hungry, to feed those who might have housing insecurity, yes, to be the living bread in the world. So as a church community, we are the living bread. I want to go through another angle. Look at this as each of you has all the ingredients. So Joseph, you have flour, spices or the nuts and the oats, the yeast, the starter. You have everything you need in faith. And in this gospel we have read, if you believe in me, you will have eternal life. That's not just an easy cognitive switch you can flip. Can you get me a glass of water from behind that? Very awesome. Not just an easy flip you can switch to think, I believe. It is something that takes the act of faith, that starter, that yeast. Be right back. I'm right here. Thank you. I'm back. I got water. It's important. Each of you has everything there needs to be to believe. We come and hear the scriptures. We encounter Jesus in the world. We all have events in our lives where we encounter Jesus. That time when we made it through the grief era where we didn't know we would make it through, that carried us through. We see signs of God in the sunset around us. We see it in the gift of going to school on Monday morning and in the teachers who will be there excited to teach you. We see it around the world everywhere. Each of you and each of us has the ingredients necessary for faith and necessary to believe in Jesus Christ. And it goes through different phases, and yes, even doubts can be put in here as part of our journey. And as we grow individually, that gift of the Spirit and of God's grace enables it to be brought to the living bread and ourselves being offered as a living sacrifice to the world as we partake of the living bread. Now, when we come forward each and every day, we don't know exactly what it means as we participate in the mystery of Christ in the body and the blood. We can think and articulate it. There are many papers about it, but we don't know exactly what happens. You are sweet. Thank you very much. We don't know exactly what happens. But we do know that there is something when God heats us up at 400 degrees, 350, whatever it is, that God's grace enables us to get there. God's grace that enables us to say, I will be sober from this day forward. God's grace that acknowledges that we see that through the midst of this difficult time, Jesus is present. The gift that in each one of you, I can see Jesus, and that you can see Jesus in each other, even when we don't get along. So your job is to know that you have everything you need. Jesus and God has given you everything you need in this life, and that you are living bread. Jesus is in you, and you are to share that love with the world, and that we as a church body are built together to share and to feed the world in new and different ways. What might that look like, and how might we continue to bring that in? I just remember one thing, Richard, that Mary Fran told me. I called her on a Friday afternoon when I figured out I wanted to do this sermon. And Friday afternoon, what happened on Friday afternoon with Jesus on Holy Week? The crucifixion. And then she told me that her particular method takes 3 days to make. What happened in 3 days? How long was Jesus? Yeah? And then he rose back up. Raise you up on the third day. He was risen on the third day, exactly. We too are risen. We are given all the ingredients, individually and as a church, to partake and to be the living bread that the world so desperately needs. You have all the ingredients you need for faith, and don't worry when doubt is mixed in. That is an essential ingredient to the bread being made. But know that you are the living bread in the Spirit, and God's grace will do more than we can ask or imagine as we become the living bread for the world. Amen. Thank you for your help. You guys can go back and sit with your folks now. Dave, can I get another hand? Lily, thank you.